better now? Nope. I'm trying. Good. When I go to the salon, sometimes I feel really stressed because they ask me some questions that I have no idea how to answer. Sometimes, for example, they ask me how I want this. I don't know the name of this. I just feel it would be so much easier if I knew exactly what I want to say. Sometimes, for example, I want my hair kind of messy, but I have no idea how to say like, do I want a messy hair? Yeah, I just feel that it sounds a little bit weird. So yeah, I mean, an expression or phrase that I could use, I think it would be really helpful.
I'm sure you guys have all had similar questions. Sometimes we walk into a salon or a barber shop thinking we know what we want, but the moment we sit on the chair, we've forgotten basic English. So, to help us with our predicament, we invited a hair technician to answer some of our questions. This episode is useful for anyone who is going to get their hair cut soon, which is most of us. But before that, for those of you who are new here, CELPIP will be going live every Tuesday and Friday at 9:30. Every Tuesday and Friday at 9:30 a.m. PST. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up if you find this video useful. And if you want to hear news updates, we will be going through that at the end of this show. So let me welcome our guest here today. Hi, Marian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Firstly, I'm really glad that you joined us here today. We are, as I already mentioned, we are trying to explain to our viewers about day-to-day conversations that they can have at the hair salon. A lot of us usually struggle with like getting the right words, getting the right phrases out about the specific haircut or the specific shave that we want. So again, I'm really glad you joined us. Before I start asking you questions, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Marianne. I'm a hairstylist in Vancouver for 3 years now, and yes, doing hair here in Vancouver. That's.
So where are you? If I can ask, where are you originally from?
I'm from France.
Oh, nice. So were you a hair technician there as well before you moved here?
Yes, I was a hair technician there for about 8 years, and then I came here. Yes.
So how has your experience been as an immigrant? I mean, I'm an immigrant too. So as an immigrant in Canada, how has your experience been?
It was really nice. People are super welcoming here. It's super easy to talk with people. Finding a work was easy too. Even if you don't speak English properly, people are already open about that. So that's really nice.
Oh, that's great. Did you have any new different experiences when you came here first as an immigrant or even as a hairdresser? Like, do you think that the clients are different? Do you think the culture is different here?
Yeah, the culture is definitely different. People are already more relaxed in the chair. Yeah, people really listen what you're saying. It's really nice because especially when you don't speak English properly, it can be stressful. But I found the people here are really okay with that. They just trust you and they let you do what you have to do. There, yes, that was.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
That's good to know. Okay, great. So let me go ahead and start with the first question that I'm sure a lot of people were also thinking about. What is the first thing a new customer has to say or do as soon as they enter the salon?
The first things after the hello, of course, they just have to go to the receptionist or the first person they see in the front and just ask what they want. And the receptionist or the person will just explain what to do, how to do it. And also if they want to book an appointment or if they want to come right away, they can just ask for that also.
So just to for our audience, if you want to book your appointment ahead, you have to schedule it. But what is it called when you want to just get it on the same day? What do you call those
Uh,
kind of customers?
just walk-ins.
Walk-ins.
Customer.
Okay,
Yes.
that is good to know. So is it helpful for us to identify ourselves as walk-ins when we enter the salon?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think the thing that I was trying to come at is that if you're somebody who gets your haircut last minute, like me, please enter as soon as you enter the salon. It would be best if you announce yourself as a walk-in. Okay, thank you for
Yeah.
that. Okay, so what is the first thing? The next question I have is, what is the first thing that a customer says when they sit on your chair, or what is the first thing that you ask them when they sit on your chair?
I always make sure they're okay because for some people it's really stressful to come to a hair salon. So yeah, I always make sure they're okay. They want to drink something. I will make sure they're comfortable and ready to have some new hair.
You said that they're people are stressed out when they enter the salon. Why do you think that is?
There is people who can be stressed because of bad experience before, or because they don't know how to say the word, or because they don't know what they want. So yeah, it can be stressful for some people, and we have to make them comfortable. Yes.
So you discussed trust, which is again very important. One of the reasons why, or actually one of the biggest reasons that many people go to the same salon is because they trust the barber or they trust their hair technician. But I also think that a lot of people are stressed out because they don't know the right terms of what to ask. And sometimes if they're unprepared, like me, they don't even have a picture. So that is why we're doing this episode today, to make sure that people are comfortable even if they don't know the terms, to ask what they want to know. So the next question I have for you is it common for people, is it common for you to get people who don't know what they want to do with their hair, and then how do you manage a situation like that?
Usually when people don't know what they want, we always have a long chat at the beginning, like 10-15 minutes, and we talk about what they do at home with their hair routine, how they style their hair, the lifestyle they have also. It's the consultation. That's why we call the consultation. It's really important. And also we look at some photos. I always show some photos on my phone because it's important to make sure that we are on the same page, because you can say, oh, I want this, but actually you don't see the same things with this word. So you have to make sure with the photo you really see it, really make sure to understand each other.
Oh, that's nice. So you have photos in case the client does not
Always.
have photos.
Always.
That is amazing. And then you spoke about consultation. Is that something that you need to reserve an appointment for, or can you do that on the spot as well as a walk-in?
You can do that if we have time. We can do it for sure. If we don't have time, if you're fully booked, we cannot do it. But yes, if you book an appointment for a haircut, you will have any appointment, you will have a consultation. But sometimes if you do like hair color or like balayage or like long process, you have to come before to do the consultation, because you don't know how long it might take. It can take 3 hours, it can take 5 hours. So the consultation has to be done, yes.
Okay, so it looks
Before.
like consultation is really important. And from what Marion is
Very
saying,
important, yes.
it sounds like consultation is something that, people, the hairdresser needs to know about you, learn more about you before they can decide, or before you both can decide what needs to be done with your hair. Okay, that's good. So since you mentioned a few terms right now, which I think you mentioned balayage. So if you could talk a little more about the services you provide and what the terms mean, that would be great.
Okay, so yeah, we do different type of haircuts. We have the barber cuts, which will be the really short haircuts. Usually it's with a clipper. You have the short hair. The short haircuts. No gender, like man, woman, and it's above chin length. Also, you have
Sorry.
medium.
So can you repeat that? Above what length?
Above chin length.
Above chin. Okay.
Yeah. And medium haircut, it's chin above shoulder length.
Okay.
Long haircuts, like will be shoulder to chest, and then past chest with the extra long haircuts. So yeah, you have different type of haircuts. Yes.
Oh, okay. So let me just repeat this so that everybody gets these terms right. Barber cuts are really short hair. So like when you want to use a trimmer.
Yes.
That's called a barber cut. Okay. And the short haircut is any length of hair above your chin level.
Yes.
Okay. So remember, guys, there's barber cuts, there's short haircuts, and then there's medium cut, which is above shoulder.
Yeah, it's a chin above shoulder length.
That is medium. Okay. I thought so. My hair is extra long then.
Your hair is extra long, yes.
Okay, so let me first get this before I tell you something. So this is medium haircut, and then long is up to the chest,
Yes.
and then anything chest and lower is extra long.
Yes.
Okay, great. So the thing I wanted to tell you is that if I tell my mother that this is extra long, she will not believe me. I just wanted to tell you that I thought all my life that this is really long hair, but it's good to know where we are. Okay, great. So now that we have all those terms, did you want to talk about some other services you offer, or can I move on to the next question?
You can move on to, I mean, we have the balayage and like highlight, but we can see that after, no problem.
Okay, great. One thing that I do want to know is something that I've always wondered when I see celebrities use these words on TV. What is the difference between bangs and fringes?
It's actually the same word. Bangs, it's a word from the United States, from America. And the French is the rest of the word, is more from the proper English word.
Oh, so that's good to know. So fringe is that, so what do you think people use here in Canada? Do they use fringe or do they use bangs?
They use bangs.
Okay, so guys, if you want to ever get your hair cut here in forms of bangs or fringes, apparently we use bangs here. So that is a good tip for you all to know. Another question, and then something that has happened. Oh, before I go on to this question, I want to clarify that Marian has cut my hair a couple of times and I've enjoyed the experience. So this next question has got nothing to do with her or me. But how do I tell if I go to a salon and if in the middle of my haircut I'm not enjoying it? How do I tell my hairstylist that, you know, this is not going as planned, or I was actually thinking of something else without being too rude?
If the hairstylist is professional, she should understand. Like some people explain at the beginning and they're like, okay. And then actually in the middle of the haircut, they feel that it's not going the way they plan. So they just have to ask the hairstylist if she can stop and just talk a little bit about it, double check the haircut.
Double check the hair.
Comfortable. Yes, double check the haircut together. We talk about it, it's fine.
Okay, so that is a good tip to know. If you're ever stuck in a situation where you don't like what's happening, you can always pause and ask that you and your hairstylist can double check the haircut. Okay, that is good to know. So we are getting a few questions from the comments, and I will ask you that soon. But this is something that I wanted to know personally for myself, and I'm also sure that many people in the viewers would also like to know. People who have long hair and thick hair, how do we tell you that we want it long but lighter? You know what I'm saying? See, this is my struggle. I don't know how to explain this. I want my length, but I don't want it to be heavy.
Yes. Yeah, when you ask something like that, just say that you want to keep your length as much as possible. You want to keep your hair long, and you just want to take off some weight because it's too heavy.
Some weight. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. So if you're ever in a salon and you want to like keep your length, but this is especially for people who have long hair, if you want to keep your length but remove some of the weight because it's summer, you can say, take off the weight?
Take off some weight. Yeah.
Take off some weight. Okay, sounds good. Another question, and this is, I think, geared towards people who have short hair. When someone says, I would like half-inch trim, does that mean they want half-inch taken off, or does that mean they want half-inch left on their head?
You never know. We don't see the inch the same. So when something like that happens, your hairstylist should ask you to show that you show what you want to take off exactly, because we don't see the inch the same way. Like me, I don't know about inch. I always use centimeters because we don't use inch in Europe. So yeah, they have to ask you to show what you want. Otherwise, it's not professional.
Oh, okay. That is interesting. And that's a good tip for everybody who is going to get their haircut soon sometime. Okay, another question that I had. Um, when I go to the salon or when my husband goes to the barbershop, we see often these terms within the shop. So some people are called colorists, some people are called hairstylists, some people are called hairdressers. So I want to know what these terms mean, what these expressions mean, but also um, is it important for us to know that there's a difference between these terms?
All listers are all the same. It's everybody's a hairstylist, hairdresser, or colorist is the same. It's just I think here in like Canada, the States, we use more hairstylists. In the UK, they use hairdresser also, but it's the same. It's the same word. Colorist is she's also a hairstylist or a hairdresser, but she's more specialized in coloring hair.
Okay. So we have an audience question here, which is a good question because I have also had this question. What is the difference between a step cut and a layer cut?
A step cut and a layer cut. That's really interesting. I'm not sure I know step cut. Layer cut would be like layers. Usually it's like you have shorter pieces on the top. It can be like long layers or short layers, and then you have your length. Here, depends how your hair, but step haircuts, never heard about that.
I think the only time I've heard about step haircut is in India when I used to get my haircut there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is a regional term. So hopefully that explains your question. But yeah, to your point, I've never heard step cut here either. I've only heard layer cut. So maybe they mean the same thing, but just different words.
Probably.
Okay. So I'm going to move on to our second part of our conversation. I want to know from you, what are some common hair terms that you would like our audience to know?
Usually, like my client like mix some term on service like global color and global color. They will say, oh, I would like a global color, all over color, but actually they want highlight or baby light. So a global color is like covering all your hair with the same color, or like going darker, or gray coverage.
So let's talk about that a little more. So global color is when you want your entire head, ideally, to have one color.
Yes.
Okay. And then you mentioned something called gray color. What is that?
It means no, global color. We cover all your gray hair.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. So it's more like if you want to get, if like for older people, if they want to get their hair color changed, or if they want to get their grays hidden, then you say gray. Sorry, what was the term?
Global color, gray coverage.
Gray coverage. Okay, global color and gray coverage. These are good terms to know. Okay, thank you. So what else? What are some other terms you want our audience to know?
Also, there is the bleach out.
Bleach out. Okay.
People can mix these two with the same with balayage and highlight, because bleach out is for going blonder, but it's for going blonder all over, like from the roots till the end, like all your hair.
So if somebody has dark hair, can they ask for a bleach out?
They can ask for it, but they might need a consultation first.
Okay, so this is mostly, so to just understand a little more, excuse me, this is mostly geared towards people who already have light hair.
You can do it. You can do bleach outs, but I mean, depends the result you want. But everybody can do a bleach out, but it depends the result you're waiting for.
Okay, so that's good to know. And when we were talking about bleach out, you mentioned a term called balayage. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what that means?
So yes, the balayage is it's for going like brighter, a little bit blonder, or even like caramel, something like you went to the sun and you have your shadow root. It's really natural look. Yes, you can go blonder, you can go caramel, something. It's really natural. It's you have the highlight or like from the roots, like till the end, like the 2000 style, and the balayage is more natural look.
Okay, got it. So let's talk. Let's go a little more into like facial hair. I am going to show you some pictures, and I want to know what these styles mean. So the first picture up is a beard stylist. So can you tell me what this style is called?
So it's a royal beard.
Okay, so this is called a royal beard.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that this is something that is very common with people who want to own a beard, like, you know, people who go to the barber and they're trying to like get a specific style. So for you guys, this style is called a royal beard. Okay,
Yes.
let's go to the next image. What is this style called?
That one will be a goatee.
Oh, okay. So that's good. I thought that it was called something else. So it's good that everybody knows this word. It's called a goatee, guys, because of goats. If you didn't know where it came from goats, because goats have that style. Not to say that this is a bad style. I'm just saying that that is where this name originated from. Okay. What about this one?
This one is a petite goatee.
Oh, okay. So just a smaller goatee. That makes sense. And then the last image, I think. What about this one?
The mutton chops, I think.
Sorry, can you say that again?
The mutton chops.
Mutton chops. Oh, huh. That makes sense, I guess. Oh, yeah. If you look at it from the side, it looks like a leg of mutton. Very creative. So something that I think people also want to know is that now that I see the image of mutton chops, and it's mostly with people who have shorter hair, you know, like the length of hair that comes over here. What is that usually called? I think we have a picture for that as well, just so that our audience can see. But what do you usually call that? Like, you know, the length of hair over here that comes before it becomes a beard.
Yeah, we call this a sideburns.
Okay, so that is good to know, guys, if you don't know what it's called. And if you want to treat it specifically, that area is called a sideburn. Okay, so so one of the things that we offered our viewers who are watching the show today is that we will also give, yes, this is a channel about day-to-day conversations, and we are talking about terms and expressions that we often use in a salon or in a barbershop. But we also wanted to, since you're here, we also wanted to pick your brain about what people can do now that they're at home. We actually have a video from one of our staff at Paragon, and they are curious and they have a question for you. So I'm going to play the video right now.
I'm cutting my own hair under COVID as well as that of my 5-year-old son. And I have a question. When I cut my son's hair the other day, it was real boxy. I was making it short on the sides and then he had this long stuff on the top and he said, "Dad, my head looks like a house." So I was trying to fix it. And what I don't know when I cut my own hair or my son's is like, how do you blend this in here? You know, I know that obviously this is one of the important things that hairdressers always do is make my head look really good and rounded and stuff. But, you know, when I'm going from here and I'm trying to do this kind of a thing, how do I make sure that I don't have like a really solid line here and that my head can look, I don't know, head-shaped? Thanks.
Okay, so that question, that video, if everybody wasn't able to catch it, what the question that the person is asking is that when you trim your hair, and this is essentially for people with really short hair, when you trim your hair going bottom from up, you usually, like, if you're not used to, you know, trimming your own hair, now that everybody's at home and they want to, like, you know, fix their hair, if you're not usually used to trimming your hair, you go straight like a square. But they want to know how to make it more curved and more natural looking. So Mariana, if you have any tips for them, that would be great.
Yeah, if it's going too square, I will say to use maybe your clipper, but a little bit shorter for this part here. If they want something more round, yeah, the part with going square, that you just have to use the clipper, but shorter than the side here, and just like cut this part like that and this side, and it should be more round and less like square.
So the clipper, you're saying that the clipper setting has to be shorter at the shortest setting or the shorter setting?
going a little bit shorter, try shorter, like try to go shorter and shorter till it's going well, till it's less wear.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. Can you tell us a little bit about so if you don't know, guys, Marian, like I mentioned, has cut my hair. She's a hairdresser, but she also does men's hair. And I saw a video on your Instagram that you had cut your boyfriend's hair. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
So it was the quarantine. I just decided to cut my boyfriend's hair at home, and cut short on the side, a little bit longer on the top, something easy to style, a little bit messy, and after that I just like bleach, and then for him to go blonder, really brown actually, like whites. Yeah.
So if I remember in the video, your boyfriend's hair was dark before it became blonde.
It was like really, really dark.
So how long did it take to like actually get it to blonde?
It took actually 4 hours and a half, and we had to do it again one more time after. It took 2 hours more. So in total, it took 6 hours and a half.
And that's like a men's haircut. So it's like short hair, and that took 6 hours.
Yeah.
So how much would my hair take if I wanted to get it like blonde, or which I not, but like if I had to, how long would it take?
It will probably take 2 to 3 sessions, and maybe more. It depends how your hair lifts. Sometimes you cannot even go that blonde, that white, because your hair are too warm. So it's sometimes it's impossible. Your hair will break before going that blonde.
Okay. Thank you for warning me. I have a question here from one of our viewers. How can I say if I want very short haircut, like almost military style, like like number 0 or number 1? How do I tell somebody that I want it like that short? How do I tell a barber or a hairstylist?
If just say that you want it super, super short, like skin. They have a special word actually, like skin. I can't remember.
It's okay. We will come back to that. I will ask you that question again. No okay, worries. Okay. We have another question. How do you say when you want some pieces of your hair lighter and not all of them? Like some parts of your hair you want it light. I think that's what highlight is, but you would know better.
If you want to go lighter, I would say like balayage or like highlights.
Okay, so for you, I hope that answered your question. If you want something lighter but not your whole hair, it's usually called balayage or it's called highlights. Okay, so and I will come back to your question about the short haircut. Just give me 1 minute. I will ask another question. So for people who are at home right now who are not able to cut their hair in the salon, do you have any tips?
Yeah, the only tips I can say is the best would be to wait for you. But if you really have to do it, you can, there is so many tutorials on YouTube and on Instagram that you can use for haircut, for cutting bangs, for coloring also. The only things I would say is don't bleach your hair at home because it can be really dangerous. But yeah, the rest is okay. It can be funny, but why not to try?
Sorry, guys, I was on mute. That is great advice. Okay, so I think we have another question here asking about treatments more than it's about cuts. What is the name of the treatment when you want to like treat the end of your hair because it's very dry?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there is many treatments. The best would be to ask her, like your hairstylist, because there is so many of them. But yeah, if your hands are dry, usually it's like moisturizing treatments that can be good. Moisturizing treatments. That's the term.
You said that there are some other terms, like so that just so that our people know and that they don't get confused. What are some of the terms that people have asked you or you have helped people when their ends are dry?
Yeah, it depends on the product, like how they call it, because the brands call it differently. But yeah, most of them you can find it like moisturizing or like for dry hair treatments or yes. I
Okay.
think about.
Cool. So thank you for that. And then we do, I want to tell you guys that we do have a link in the description below where if you saw the beard pictures that I mentioned and the beard terms that Marian told us, there's a link below to for you if there are more beard terms in there and there's more conversation about, box beards and round beards. So if any of you are interested, please check that link. And then, okay, so Marian, I will come back to you and ask you about the military haircut term. Were you able to remember the term that people use if they want like really, really short hair on their head?
Yeah, I can remember. I think they say like skin head something, skin haircut something.
Skin haircut?
Maybe, Yes.
Okay, so if so for those of you who asked us that question, especially one viewer, that is the term that they use here. But I also know that what you mentioned of like 0 degree or 0 setting haircut, that's also something that is used. I've heard before, but I don't know. I'm not the expert, and the expert is talking about expert mentioned about skin haircut. So maybe you can try that. Anyway, so that is the. Thank you so much for helping us. I also want to ask you one last question about general treatments. How do I take care of my hair at this time? Because I can't go to salon. So is there any specific treatment that I can do at home? Is there anything that I can purchase from the store?
Like last time you went to your hair salon, she should have tell you what to use at home. But if she didn't and you want to take care of your hair, at least use professional products, conditioner and shampoo. Professional conditioner, shampoo to make sure that you don't put anything bad on your hair or like too heavy that is going to change the texture of your hair. And especially when you have long hair, conditioner, like professional one, are really important.
So you mentioned texture of your hair. What is that? I don't know what that, like, I just want to know what that means.
Sorry?
Texture. You mentioned texture?
Yes, the texture of your hair sometimes. Yeah,
yes,
sometimes
go
you
ahead.
can use like shampoo that can change like the texture of your hair if it's too heavy or if it has like bad product in it. It can change the way it is. It can be like fluffy after.
Oh, so can just to like clarify, if I want to change the texture of my hair and if I ask you that, will you know what it means? Like, is that the right term to ask? If I want to like make my hair less frizzy or more soft, do I just say I want to treat the texture of my hair?
No, you can just say that it's too frizzy, like the way you feel about it, and they might find the right shampoo for you.
Okay. So guys, if you like me, if you want to like change the texture of your hair and if you think your hair is too dry or frizzy, just say that term and that should be fine. So if you didn't know what frizzy means, that's what frizzy is. Anyway, okay, so thank you so much for joining us. I think that is all the questions we had at the moment. We don't see any questions here. But I saw in your Instagram account that you worked for Fashion Week. Can you tell us a little bit about how your experience was there?
It was really nice. It's especially in Vancouver because it's really relaxed. It's really relaxed, the Fashion Week. But yeah, it's a backstage with all the models. It's crazy all day. You meet a lot of models who've been like all over the world. It's really fun, but it's really intense. Really intense.
Okay,
it's a good experience.
That is. Oh, I have a question for you. Oh, okay. So, the haircuts that I think I saw it in your Instagram feed also. The bottom of your hair, the bottom of your head does not have hair, but the top has hair, and then the bottom has like some designs. Yes. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's yes. Like if you put a ponytail, and this is for like people who have like medium to short, long hair. When you put a ponytail, the bottom of your head has like a design that everybody can see. If I want a style like that, what is that called?
We actually call it design haircut.
It's just called design haircut. So there is no.
Yeah, or you can also say undercut.
Undercut.
Yes.
Huh. Okay, so it's called
undercut with design.
Okay. Undercut with that is good to know, because also that might be another way for you to, like, if you have like really thick hair and you want to make it lighter, that is probably another way. So if you're curious to know what that is, it's called undercut with designs. Okay, great. Have you done those? I saw it on your Instagram. Do you like doing those haircuts?
I love doing that. It's like drawing on the hair.
Nice. And how long does it usually take to grow back?
It takes a while, a year,
Oh.
I was saying.
Oh, so the design stays for like a year?
Oh no, the design stays like for like 3 to 6 weeks maximum, depends how your hair will grow. But yeah, after you're going to have short hair and it takes a long time to grow.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining us, Marian. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of terms and expressions that I can use. And I also know now that my hair is extra long. So it's something handy for me if I'm booking a reservation and if they want to know how long your hair is. It's a really handy tool. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining us, Marian.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys. So now I will move on to news updates. Okay, so we are still, like I mentioned earlier, we are still testing in British Columbia. We are testing in, we're also testing in Hong Kong. We're testing in Manitoba. So if you have if you want to book your test, please do so right now. We're also testing in Alberta. So please first check your availability at CELPIP.ca website. I get a lot of questions on social media asking about tests dates, but all those tests are booked. So please make sure that you check your availability on our website. Please note that masks are now mandatory. So if you're testing this week or the week after, or anytime from now, you will have to bring your own mask. This can be a surgical mask, or this can also be a cloth face covering, and you will have to wear it at the entire time you're testing, including the speaking test. So if you have questions about your audio and if you will be audible or not, please watch our previous episode. This is specifically episode 14. It's also an immigration episode, but we have our manager who comes there and clarifies any question that people have about wearing masks during their speaking test. If you're waiting for tests to resume near you, please enter your email ID in the notification bar on our website. It is a golden bar at the top of our website that you will see as soon as you type in CELPIP.ca. If you're unable to see it, it's probably because you closed it or you've already visited the website. So please go back and visit the website in incognito mode. And if you're not sure what incognito mode is, just look for it on Google, type incognito mode along with your browser name. So incognito mode for Chrome, incognito mode for Safari, and they will give you instructions on how to access the incognito mode on your computer. And then lastly, CELPIP Accelerate is now 25% off. If you're looking for resources for your CELPIP preparation, CELPIP Accelerate is a great resource. And so there is a link in the description below that will take you to our products page where you can then purchase CELPIP Accelerate, which is now 25% off. Okay, that's it for our news updates. For next week, we're focusing on the CELPIP LS test. So for those of you who don't know, CELPIP LS is the English test that you need to take for your citizenship application in Canada. So in this test, you only have to attempt the listening and speaking section. So that is what we will be talking about next week, on Tuesday especially. So if you're interested to learn about the CELPIP LS test, or if you're just interested to learn about listening or speaking, please join us. This episode is on June 2nd. As always, there will be a countdown timer that I put on Instagram. So if you follow us there, you will be able to you will be able to set a reminder for yourself and come to our channel. So do let me know. So please let us know if you have any questions about the CELPIP LS test and about citizenship. We already get a lot of questions on social media, which we will address next week. But if you have any other specific questions, please go ahead and ask us in the comments below. If you want to know about any haircut terms, you can ask that too in the comments below, and we will be able to help you out. And then lastly, please do consider joining us on our social media. We update our Facebook and Instagram regularly. All new updates will be put there. So please do consider engaging with us and following us on there. You can also send in your questions there. You can send us a DM. I'm always eager to answer you and help you guys out. But you can also send us your questions at communications@paragontesting.ca. It is a great medium for us. You can also suggest any other episode that you want to watch about the CELPIP test or about learning English as it relates to your test. And if we think that an idea like that will work, we will for sure put it here on CELPIP Live. But until then, I thank you for being here. The series was made for you all, so please share this link with anybody else you think might find it useful. But until then, I will see you in my next video, and please wash your hands. Bye.